Thursday 11 through 1.
Ryan Watson.
City Buzz. City Buzz.
Ryan Watson.
City Buzz. City Buzz.
FM1 station, many communities. I'm Brian Watson, your host, and we've got a great show coming up for you today. We've got, in just a second, we've got David John Pleasant in the studio. He's going to be talking about the Singer-Songwriter Showcase, which is happening at the Key Theatre on the 17th of October. Alright, we've got some great music coming up. We're going to be hearing from Opaque, Leslie Curtis, and we're also going to be getting Thomas and Levy in the studio at 12 o'clock. Okay, it's going to be fantastic. I'll be playing you a track of his a little later on, okay, towards the end of the show. But first, without further ado, I'm going to play you from Marcel Pleasant's Drifting. He's also appearing at the Singer-Songwriter Showcase, okay, and he's a great singer-songwriter. I believe he gets his talent from his father, who's also a flamenco guitar player, singer-songwriter, and he was also involved with the very first Omega Commodore console. So, hey, I think I've got that right, we shall see. But first, this is Marcel Pleasant's Drifting.
Ocean always used to calm you down, wash the dirt off from this sleeping town. You got lost, your ship, it ran aground. I'm still waiting here. Like to tell you things we left unsaid, the memories from inside your head. We know after all is said and done, we just keep drifting on. But you always seem so sure.
How about that? Marshall Pleasance there. His solo song, Drifting. Absolutely beautiful piece of music. David, welcome to the show. We've got David Pleasance in the studio. He's a flamenco guitarist,
I am.
a singer-songwriter.
I am.
Okay, absolutely. And also, you were involved in the very first games console, Commodore Amiga, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I was at Commodore through the early days of computing with the Big 20 and the Commodore 64, which I think we must have done something right because we sold 13 million Commodore 64s.
Wow.
And then we launched the Amiga, which of course was revolutionary in its day. And in fact, even today with Windows 10, you still can't do on a PC with Windows 10 what you could do on an Amiga.
Really?
In 1985 when it was launched, yeah.
And that's supposed to be progression.
Well, there you go, yeah, that's right.
Now-
They're doing, basically what they're doing on the PC now, they're doing in software what the Amiga did in hardware.
Okay.
It had specific custom chips that did various tasks, you see.
Brilliant stuff, I've
Yeah.
got to say, yes. I don't know much about chips and things like that. I've never been very technical, I've got to be honest. But we're here talking about the singer-songwriter showcase.
We are.
And before that, like on Sunday, we had the acoustic glasshouse sessions, didn't we? Do you know what I mean?
We did.
Irene Ray and there's some great artists there, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, you enjoyed it.
I did, yes. Very
Yeah.
chilled out.
Yeah.
Well, who was the duo that was there?
The duo are a couple of lads from Corby, and they're called The Modern Age.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
They're nice singers. And then you had a blues artist, and he was really good, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Lil Gordon. I can't think of his surname now. How terrible is that?
Never
But yeah, he's a very obviously he's not a young person, but been playing blues for all his life, and very, very accomplished, as I'm sure you saw.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, some of the on that single guitar with some of the sounds he was getting out of the guitar was unreal. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, excellent.
And we're talking about talent, aren't we, this morning? I mean, that's a very talented band. And of course, you had Auburn as well, who's a really nice singer. I mean, they're
Yeah.
a really good band.
Yeah, yeah. Auburn, she actually comes. Liz, her name is. She comes from Spalding, but her band. One of them, there's two in her band that tour. One of them comes from London, and one I think is from Brighton or somewhere on the coast. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff, I've got to be honest. You know, now talking about talent, I mean, you've got talent, your son's got talent, but there's an amazing amount of talent around in Peterborough. And Opaque have just been to Liechtenstein, haven't they?
Well, I think they're on their way. I think it's this week they've been travelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, what they decided to do, which I think is a very smart move, they decided to put a different spin on their promotions of themselves because they're launching a new album.
Yeah.
And they thought to themselves, wouldn't it be fantastic if we could have a #1 album? And they thought it through, and I thought, well, there's one place we might be able to get it with #1, and that's Liechtenstein, because it's got a very tiny population.
Yeah.
So if they don't have to sell many records to be #1 over there. So they've organised, they've got 2 gigs set up. They're going over, I think, for about a week.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then when they come back from Liechtenstein, then they're going to be launching their new CD at the Singer-Songwriter Showcase on October 17.
I was going to say they're headlining the Singer-Songwriter Showcase, aren't they?
They are indeed, yes.
And I think they're appearing with us either on the 1st or the 8th, I think it is. I'm not quite sure when, but they're going to be on City Buzz pretty soon, so that'll be excellent stuff, I've got to say. How did you come across Opaque?
Well, really what started all of this for me, I moved to Peterborough because of my son and his performing. And to be honest with you, he wasn't being very active. Excuse me, I'm going to have to cough.
Yeah, that's okay, no worries.
He wasn't being very active in promoting himself, and you know, I'd just come back from overseas and had a lot of time on my hands, so I moved to Peterborough basically to kick him up the backside, to get him out there performing. And anyway, as a result of sort of starting to get involved in the musical scene in Peterborough, I ended up in 2013, I did all the auditions and selected all the acts for the acoustic stage at the 2013 Willow Festival, which you know, was an enormous success. And in fact, I auditioned 146 acts over about a 3-month period. And as a result of doing that, I then realised just how much fantastic talent there really is in this region. It's absolutely staggering.
It is,
And I just couldn't leave it alone. I thought, well, the sad thing is that there's very few places for these people to play, because for some reason a lot of the pubs and things, they only want covers, and they don't want original music, and you know, if you're an unknown, they don't really want you. So I set about on a bit of a mission to try and find places for these people to play, and as a result of that, that's when I 2 years ago, I got luckily I got the Riverside Bar at the Key Theatre, which is what they call the Glass House, because it's got glass all the way down one side and all the way across the back, and it's been known as the Glass House for many, many years. And so I approached them and said, you know, can I put on some acoustic? So we do that pretty much once every month on a Sunday afternoon. It's always a Sunday afternoon. It does have to move around, unfortunately, in terms of it can't be the first Sunday every month or something. And the reason for that is that they have lots of other things going on.
Good.
And for example, there won't be any Glass House in December, and probably not January, because of the pantomimes. They have the pantomime on, and they have Sunday afternoon matinee, so there's just no room to do it. Yeah. But the people at the Vivacity who run the Key Theatre have been extremely helpful, been very, very kind to me, very supportive. And it's a wonderful venue. I mean, it's just the most gorgeous location overlooking the river, very family friendly, which is something I always wanted to make sure, so that anybody on a Sunday afternoon can come along and bring their kids and just have a nice relaxed chilled afternoon. It's a free entry, listening to live music, and some of the best live music in the region.
Absolutely. I've got to say, what a way to spend a Saturday afternoon. And Peg were on the Hearts in Harmony CD,
They were.
and this is I Need Reminding on Peterborough FM.
I think you need reminding where it is.
How about that? Marshall Pleasance there, his solo song Drifting. Absolutely beautiful piece of music. David, welcome to the show. We've got David Pleasance in the studio. He's a flamenco guitarist, a singer-songwriter.
I am.
Okay, absolutely. And also, you were involved in the very first games console, Commodore Amiga, wasn't it?
Yes,
Welcome to the show. We've got David Pleasance in the studio. He's a flamenco guitarist,
I am.
a singer-songwriter.
I am.
Okay, absolutely. And also, you were involved in the very first games console, Commodore Amiga, wasn't it?
Yes, I was at Commodore through the early days of computing with the Big 20 and the Commodore 64, which I think we must have done something right, because we sold 13 million Commodore 64s.
Wow.
And then we launched the Amiga, which of course was revolutionary in its day. And in fact, even today with Windows 10, you still can't do on a PC with Windows 10 what you could do on an Amiga.
Really?
In 1985 when it was launched, yeah.
And that's supposed to be progression.
Well, there you go, yeah, that's right.
Now-
They're doing, basically what they're doing on the PC now, they're doing in software what the Amiga did in hardware.
Okay.
It had specific custom chips that did various tasks, you see.
Brilliant stuff, I've
Yeah.
got to say, yes. I don't know much about chips and things like that. I've never been very technical, I've got to be honest. But we're here talking about the singer-songwriter showcase.
We are.
And before that, like on Sunday, we had the acoustic glasshouse sessions, didn't we? Do you know what I mean?
We did.
Irene Ray and there's some great artists there, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, you enjoyed it.
I did, yes. Very
Yeah.
chilled out.
Yeah.
Well, who was the duo that was there?
The duo are a couple of lads from Corby, and they're called The Modern Age.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
They're nice singers. And then you had a blues artist, and he was really good, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Lil Gordon. I can't think of his surname now. How terrible is that?
Never.
But yeah, he's a very obviously he's not a young person, but been playing blues for all his life, and very, very accomplished, as I'm sure you saw.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, some of the, on that single guitar, with some of the sounds he was getting out of the guitar was unreal, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, excellent.
And we're talking about talent, aren't we, this morning? I mean, that's a very talented band. And of course, you had Auburn as well, who's a really nice singer. I mean, they're a really good band.
Yeah, yeah. Auburn, she actually comes. Liz, her name is. She comes from Spalding, but her band. One of them, there's two in her band that tour. One of them comes from London, and one I think is from Brighton or somewhere on the coast. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff, I've got to be honest. You know, now talking about talent, I mean, you've got talent, your son's got talent, but there's an amazing amount of talent around in Peterborough, and Peg have just been to Liechtenstein, haven't they?
Well, I think they're on their way. I think it's this week they've been travelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, what they decided to do, which I think is a very smart move, they decided to put a different spin on their promotions of themselves because they're launching a new album.
Yeah.
And they thought to themselves, wouldn't it be fantastic if we could have a #1 album? And they thought it through, and I thought, well, there's one place we might be able to get it with #1, and that's Liechtenstein, because it's got a very tiny population.
Yeah.
So if they don't have to sell many records to be #1 over there. So they've organised, they've got 2 gigs set up. They're going over, I think, for about a week.
Yeah.
And and then when they come back from Liechtenstein, then they're going to be launching their new CD at the Singer-Songwriter Showcase on October 17.
I was going to say they're headlining the Singer-Songwriter Showcase, aren't they?
They are indeed, yes.
And I think they're appearing with us either on the 1st or the 8th, I think it is. I'm not quite sure when, but they're going to be on City Buzz pretty soon, so that'll be excellent stuff, I've got to say. How did you come across Epic?
Well, really what started all of this for me, I moved to Peterborough because of my son and his performing. And to be honest with you, he wasn't being very active. Excuse me, I'm going to have to cough.
Yeah, that's okay, no worries.
He wasn't being very active in promoting himself, and I'd just come back from overseas and had a lot of time on my hands, so I moved to Peterborough basically to kick him up the backside, to get him out there performing. And anyway, as a result of sort of starting to get involved in the musical scene in Peterborough, I ended up in 2013, I did all the auditions and selected all the acts for the acoustic stage at the 2013 Willow Festival, which was an enormous success. And in fact, I auditioned 146 acts over about a 3-month period. And as a result of doing that, I then realised just how much fantastic talent there really is in this region. It's absolutely staggering.
It is,
And I just couldn't leave it alone. I thought, well, the sad thing is that there's very few places for these people to play, because for some reason a lot of the pubs and things, they only want covers, and they don't want original music. And if you're an unknown, they don't really want you. So I set about on a bit of a mission to try and find places for these people to play. And as a result of that, that's when I 2 years ago, I got, luckily I got the Riverside Bar at the Key Theatre, which is what they call the Glass House, because it's got glass all the way down one side and all the way across the back. And it's been known as the Glass House for many, many years. And so I approached them and said, can I put on some acoustic? So we do that pretty much once every month on a Sunday afternoon. It's always a Sunday afternoon. It does have to move around, unfortunately, in terms of it can't be the first Sunday every month or something. And the reason for that is that they have lots of other things going on.
Good.
And for example, there won't be any Glasshouse in December, and probably not January, because of the pantomimes. They have the pantomime on, and they have Sunday afternoon matinee, so there's just no room to do it. Yeah. But the people at the Vivacity who run the Key Theatre have been extremely helpful, been very, very kind to me, very supportive. And it's a wonderful venue. I mean, it's just the most gorgeous location overlooking the river, very family friendly, which is something I always wanted to make sure, so that anybody on a Sunday afternoon can come along and bring their kids and just have a nice relaxed chilled afternoon. It's a free entry, listening to live music, and some of the best live music in the region.
Absolutely. I've got to say, what a way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Opaque were on the Hearts in Harmony CD,
They were.
and this is I Need Reminding on Peterborough FM.
Sometimes I need reminding. Who am I? Inside my skin, and I try not to mind him. And I fight and I climb this mountain so high, first to the clouds, the first time in my life. See the world laid out for me, I catch sight how things are meant Then there was your smiling face amongst the things that I like. First there was the sunshine, then there was the moonlight. Then there was your smiling face amongst the things that I like. You're the one that I like. Sometimes I need reminding, even I'm a beautiful being, and life has its own timing, and it twists and it turns and it does to learn to start from the word the first time in my life. See the world laid out for me, I can't decide how things meant to be all in good time. First there was the sunshine, then there was the moonlight, then there was your smiling face amongst the things that I like. First there was the sunshine, then there was the moonlight, then there was your smiling face amongst the things that I like.
How about that opaque on People FM One Station, many communities. They're appearing as the singer-songwriter Glasshouse Sessions. The singer-songwriter Showcase. I was singing the acoustic Glasshouse Sessions there. And also, they're going to Liechtenstein to become a #1 selling band. We've got David John Pleasant in the studio, who absolutely loves that track of music. David, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a great track, isn't it? Just gets you up and dancing. You can't stop
You
yourself.
can't stop, no. And Mooney's a great vocalist, isn't he? I mean,
Yeah, he's a good front person, and they're all lunatics, you know. At the end of the day,
Does
and
that
which makes
include
it, it just makes it such fun.
It is.
You know, and of course they all do lots of good work too. You know,
They do.
working for Beat This and other organisations. They're very, very charitable people, and I adore them as people. They're just lovely people. And I have to be honest, everybody I'm working with, all the artists, they're just wonderful, generous-hearted people.
we're also going to give mention to people you meet as well at the Glasshouse and live
Indeed.
music, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because in the studio, we're very honoured today, because we have got Vincenzo Ferrara, who is the producer of Sue Martin on Sunday, and also he produces the BBC Introducing. So how did you come across that, David?
Well, actually, he gave me a call. In fact, I was just leaving to go to the Glasshouse because unusually on last Sunday I had to do all of the PA as well, which normally I don't do. Normally my friend Paul Biggins very kindly comes along, brings his own PA and sets it all up. But he had a gig, his own band. He's in several bands, but this particular band called the Jet Collective, they were doing a gig at Stamford at Mama Liz's. So he couldn't come along. So I was just leaving a bit earlier than I would normally do for this reason, to go to the Glasshouse, when I got this phone call, and I couldn't say to the BBC, "Oh, can you call me later?" There's no way I could have done that, you know. So obviously I took the call, and anyway, thankfully he came along, and I think he enjoyed the show immensely, which for me is amazing, because if I can get, you know, BBC Cambridgeshire to, you know, in any way get involved in what we do, because it's all about promoting the artists and getting them airplay, then so much the better. Everybody wins.
Absolutely, of course it is a win-win situation. Now let's talk about Leslie Curtis,
Yes,
because she's a phenomenal artist, isn't she?
she's amazing. She's one of my favourite ladies as well. She's a sweetheart, tremendous singer. She's sung all her life, really all kinds of genres. She's been a rock chick, which is hard
Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah.
yeah, but it's like when you hear what she does now, it's completely different because she's very much into country style music, and she's been to Nashville quite recently. Went over to there, and she's written a song jointly with a Nashville singer-songwriter, which is on her new album. Yes, and Leslie works under about 3 different guises. She works for Leslie Curtis Band. She works for with another guy, and they're called Jazzanova, and she also works with another guy, and they're called Oakley's Rise.
Okay.
And it's Oakley's Rise that are going to be performing at the Singer-Songwriter Showcase on October the 17th. And yeah, I mean, I just adore her. And actually, as I mentioned while we're talking about Leslie Curtis, on the following day of the showcase, we've got a series of workshops happening, singer-songwriter workshops. And Leslie, who is a trained vocal coach, she's going to be doing a workshop vocal coaching workshop on that morning. So anybody that's interested in sort of trying to improve their craft, these workshops are happening on the Sunday morning, and there is a guitar playing workshop, there is a songwriting workshop, there is a choir, session choir, excuse me. I don't know if you know session choir, but they're a group of people, mostly ladies, who just want to sing backing vocals, either on stage live or in the studio with any artist who wants them, and they don't want paying for it. Which is absolutely amazing.
Great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. And you have to support that. How can you not support that?
Can't,
you know?
no.
So they're going to be doing a workshop, and we've also got Beat This, who we just mentioned before, who really spend their time supporting people with special needs. And they're doing a 2-hour making music workshop and taking people from absolutely nothing into actually making music. And what I'm hoping is going to happen is that on the Sunday afternoon, on the 18th, it's when my October Glass House is happening in the same venue that in the Key Theatre. I'm hoping that people who have been through the workshops might come up and do a song up on the Glass House that they've just worked on that morning, which I think would be an amazing opportunity for everybody. I think so.
That would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
It would indeed. So anyway, getting back to Leslie Curtis, I just had to mention that because I'm so pleased that she's doing this workshop for us. And yeah, I mean, I absolutely adore her. She's an amazing talent, and to be honest with you, she's certainly one of my favourite female singers in the region, without any shadow of a doubt.
I've got to say, the song that we're going to play, In the Blink of My Eye, wasn't previously released, was it?
No.
There's a story behind that, isn't there? Because you got it before anybody else did.
Yeah, well, what happened was that I was working with a very good friend of mine, Gordon Lead, who approached me and said he wanted to do something on behalf of Little Miracles charity, which I think is a fantastic charity, and it's local, of course, and said, you know, can we get some songs that we can put on a CD? So I thought, well, maybe we can get, you know, 10, 12 songs from the different artists, and I approached lots of the artists that I work with, and the truth of the matter is that we got 20 songs very quickly and had to stop asking because we couldn't fit any more onto the CD. And what I said was, can you give me, and I said this, probably I asked about 40 different acts, can you give me something that you've previously recorded that we don't want to do any recording, all we want to do is to compile it and put it onto a CD. And Leslie gave me this In the Blink of My Eye, which she'd only just recorded, not been released by anybody. It's actually on her new CD now.
Absolutely.
But this was a year ago.
It was.
That she gave us that, and I thought how generous. As I said before, these people are amazingly generous, and it's a beautiful song.
It's a gorgeous song. This is Leslie Curtis, who is part of Oakley's Rise. She's going to be appearing on Secrets very, very soon. Keep here, people.
In the blink of In this place that I sit, I can see the world pass by, and I know that I can't stop it, even though it makes me cry. I will learn to be more cautious, I will learn to see the truth, and I will take it on for the In the blink of my eye, life changes. In the blink of my eye, storm rages. In the blink of my eye, the world moves on to a different place. Dreams are made and dreams are broken in the time it takes to grieve. I don't remember words I've spoken in this tapestry I weave. I will wait for something better, waiting for my eyes to see, and I will take it on for the In the blink of my eye, life changes. In the blink of my eye, storm rages. In the blink of my eye, the world moves on to a different place. And if I see you standing waiting, I will look but I won't speak. There's nothing I can gain in the future that you seek. I will say a last goodbye, and you will find another, and I'll take it on for the good.
Welcome back to City Buzz on Pigma FM, one station, many communities. It's great to be talking to you this morning. We've got David John Pleasant in the studio, coming up in about half an hour's time. We also have Thomas Dunleavy in the studio, 10 years of age, a fantastic performer already. We're going to be finding out how it all started and how his persona comes about, because on stage he is a live wire, I've got to be honest. David John Pleasant is in the studio, a flamenco guitar player. He's also a singer-songwriter, and also he was part of the Commodore Corporation that launched the very first console. David, welcome back.
Thank you.
Is my introduction good, Dave? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
it's,
pretty good.
yeah, it make me sound much more important than I really am.
Well, you know, but we like to do that on
Yeah,
City Buzz,
great
you know.
track,
It's
it
good
is,
stuff.
Indeed, yeah, gorgeous.
Absolutely fantastic. Now, other acts that are on there, you've got Marcel Pleasant's just done.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to be performing solo, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's doing. They're all doing approximately 30-minute slots.
Yep.
7 acts on for the evening, and then Opaque they're getting about 40 minutes because they're launching their CD and they are the headline act, so they're getting about 40 minutes. But I decided to put on 7 acts with a shorter time than maybe putting 5 acts on and giving them longer,
Yep.
because I want to give the audience as much variety as possible, just to show the breadth of different genres of talent that we have in this region. And it's I mean, honestly, the lineup I think is really sensational.
Well, I think it's fantastic, and I've got to be honest, Meg Parlin, we did a pre-record with her. She's going out on the 24th, which is next week. She's a phenomenal artist, isn't she?
Oh yeah, she's a sweetheart too. She's only just turned 18, just got her driver's license, so look out. Yeah, she is. Her dad started her playing guitar when she was very, very young. I think maybe 10 or 11. But she has developed into an absolute storm force. She writes superb songs, lovely lyrics, and she delivers with such a passion. and quite forceful. She's a feisty lady.
She certainly is.
Yeah,
Yes.
and boy, I mean, and she loves it on stage. She's absolutely revels in it on stage. And something that a lot of people couldn't possibly know is that just last week she actually performed. I'm not sure whether she performed with, but certainly in front of Tony Hadley,
Wow.
from Duran Duran, and what's the girl's name that won X Factor? Not Susan Boyle. It's, the girl that used to work in Tesco's.
Oh.
I can't think of her name.
I
Anyway,
can't- no.
Sam Bailey.
Sam Bailey,
That's what it
yeah.
was. Yeah. So Meg performed in front of those at some charity do. It was only just a week ago, and Meg's dad said, Andy said to Tony, did you get the CD that we gave you some time ago? And Tony said, it never leaves my car. Plays it all the time. So that's an example, I mean, of just how talented this girl is.
Yeah. We may have got our bands mixed up there. I think Tony was part of Spandau Ballet. Tony Hadley.
Anyway,
Yeah, sorry, sorry,
yeah,
David. But
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, anyway, Tony Hadley. That's who it was.
It's massive, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
brilliant. Yeah.
We've got a couple of bands as well, haven't you? I mean, let's talk about first of all Jesse's Ghost, because they're from King's Lynn, aren't they?
Yeah, most of them are from Kings Lynn, and one of the lads comes all the way from Colchester. Essentially what they're a five-piece. They have a lead singer, they have two guitarists, a bass player and a cajon player, which is that little box that you sit on and hit as a percussion instrument, which has become very popular these days. But all five of them sing, and they do five-part harmonies absolutely to die for.
Absolutely. Now they're friends of Doc as well, because Doc's a big fan of them, and he says they're very good fun.
Oh, they are good fun. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody that's on in this particular show, they're all. I wouldn't say they're extrovert, but they're certainly out there. They put themselves out there, and I think anybody who misses this show is going to be sorry that they missed it.
I think they will, because the one thing that amazes me in Peterborough, there's not many clubs about anymore. Okay, so the young people have really got nowhere to go. And the second thing is with live music, it's a totally different thing. You get a better atmosphere, don't you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, and let's be honest about it. It's all well and good having all these bands. I mean, I can tell you from my research recently, there are 96 covers bands within a 45-mile radius of Peterborough who look after approximately 54 pubs, and that changes from week to week. Yeah. And all they do is move around like musical chairs, and most of them play the same songs as each other. Yeah. And I don't see what they tend to forget is they're not putting anything back into music, and every song they sing somebody wrote.
That's right.
And if you don't encourage songwriting and letting people get out there and perform their own material, where are these new songs going to come from? They're not coming from thin air.
No, certainly not. No.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I'm on this mission, really, to provide gigs for as many original artists as possible. And you know, I do the Party in the Park in Ferry Meadows. I've done that 2 years in a row. Yeah. The Help for Heroes thing, which we do out at Kingscliff. Yeah. And I put on 26 acts over 2 days there earlier on this year in August. And we raised just under £6,000 for Help for Heroes. But all of the artists, they all perform for nothing, but it's great for them because it gives them a chance to perform their own original material to an audience who want to listen.
Brilliant. Now Jesse's Ghost appears on the Hearts in Harmony CD as well, don't they?
They do, yes.
And it's, I believe it's When I'm Home. It's a beautiful track of music. Without further ado.
We can't all be happy all the time. No one lives their life in ecstasy. Everyone has problems in their life. Most of yours seem to lie with me, being away for most of the time. But when I asked, you said you didn't mind. Take it up with me when I'm home, 'cause I am far away right now. By now I would have thought you would have known. There's a lot to sacrifice being on the road. This is always gonna be the same. When I return, I'll soon be gone again. You can choose to spend that time with me, knowing in a while I'll have to leave for the road again, for months at a time. But when I ask, you say that you don't mind. Take it up with me when I'm home, cause I am far away right now, but I have nowhere else to go. By now I would have thought you would have known. There's a lot to sacrifice being on the road. There's a lot to sacrifice being on the road. We'll settle down tomorrow, give it all away and start a family. No more dreams left to follow. I'll sell all my guitars, maybe then that will make you happy. Take it up with me when I'm home, cause I am far away right now, but I have nowhere else to go. By now I would have thought you would have known. There's a lot to sacrifice being on the road. So take it up with me, now I'm home, cause I am not away right now, and I have somewhere else to go. To be with you, how could I have known that you would make me sacrifice being on the road? That you would make me sacrifice being on the road. So I've made my choice and now I'm back out on the road.
How about that? That was Jesse's Ghost, When I'm Home. Absolutely fantastic. In the studio talking to us today is David John Pleasant, flamenco guitar player, singer-songwriter, a band Musos for You. I didn't mention that before, you did I?
No.
So there you go. And it's also part of the very first concert that came out, the Commodore 64, I think it was, David, yeah. Brilliant stuff. They were great, weren't they?
Oh, they're lovely. And they're lovely boys too, really, they're gentlemen.
I've got to say, and I love that song When I'm Home on the Hearts in Harmony CD, which was released for Little Miracles,
Yes.
raising money for them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Flashback Photograph.
Yep.
Okay, because one of their guys is getting married soon, isn't he?
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. They were great, weren't they?
Oh, they're lovely. And they're lovely boys too, really, they're gentlemen.
I've got to say, and I love that song When I'm Home on the Hearts in Harmony CD, which was released for Little Miracles,
Yes.
raising money for them.
Yep.
And let's talk about Flashback Photograph.
Yep.
Okay, because one of their guys is getting married soon, isn't he?
Yes, in fact, as you know, we've been trying to get him here in the studio, the trio, and it's really trying to get in an audience with the Pope. You know, they're all so busy, but I think we've nailed down the date now. But yes, Matt's getting married, and then of course going on honeymoon, which means it's been very difficult for us to actually get him into the studio. But yeah, they're lovely boys, a trio. Matt, in fact, is a multi-instrumentalist. He plays, he can play guitar, bass, ukulele, various instruments, and banjo. Gary is a singer and guitarist, and then they've also got, I think it's Dan, I'm sorry, Dan plays the cajon. Which you'll hear a lot about. It's become very popular. It's one of those instruments that has become extremely popular because it's so portable. Instead of carrying a whole set of drums around, just one little wooden box does the job.
I've got to say, the cajon is like a beatbox, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That people do rhythms on and stuff like that. Is that right?
It's all it actually is. It's a wooden box which is like a small version of a tea chest. Inside there are some steel strings against. It's a bit like a snare drum where you have a steel mesh that you can put against the skins underneath, or you can take it away.
Wow.
And if the steel mesh is against the skin underneath, you get a different sound from that which you get when it's away from it. It's kind of a rattly sound, quite attractive sound, and a cajon has a similar kind of setup, that you can have these strings against the back wall of the box, and it'll give a rattle sound, and depending on where you hit it, you get different sounds. It's very versatile, and if you're good at it, it can sound absolutely phenomenal.
Brilliant, so I've got to say. Now, Flashback Photography Sarah Trio.
Yep.
Okay, they're opening the act, aren't they? They're opening.
Yes,
the
yeah.
showcase this.
Yeah, the lineup goes as follows. We're opening up with Flashback Photograph, because their songs that they write are really quite catchy, and get your feet tapping.
Brilliant.
Then it's Marcel Pleasance, because he's very, very chilled, laid back, sort of easy listening music.
But he also puts a bit of reggae in his guitar as well, doesn't he?
Yeah,
It's like that Caribbean feel.
Yeah, certainly. He was born in Australia, and he's got the sound of the sea and the surf and the waves very much in the way he interprets his music, Then we're followed by Oakley's Rise, which is Leslie Curtis, and I can't remember, Stuart McLeod. And they're very country. Yeah. And then the final act in the first half is Thomas Dunleavy, who will be on air in a few moments.
Yes.
Yeah. He's, as I said, he's 10 years of age, and I know that I've done this on purpose, because when he's on stage, and then we go into the intermission, all of the audience is going to be coming out just talking about Thomas, because he's so good, and I think that's really good to have that, And then after the intermission, we've then got Jesse's Ghost, and then followed by Meg McPartlin, and then finally Opaque, who, as I said, are launching their new CD. So it's one heck of a show, and honestly, please support it. Live music needs support, and all I can do is ask all your listeners, please, try to get there. Tell your friends about it. It should be a really terrific night. Tickets are £9, which includes a £1 booking fee, which covers the cost of the actual handling of the tickets and so on. Then on the workshops on the Sunday, workshops it's £5 to get in, and you can go to any of the workshops. It's all completely free, and it's £4 for students. So
wow.
Because we think there'll be a lot of young people coming along to the workshops, so it's just a £4 for them.
That's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. Now, if you do want to get your tickets, it's 01733 207 239. Oh yes! Without further ado, it's Flashback Photograph, Man from Mexico, from the Hearts in Harmony CD.
Tell you that you've got to change your ways of thinking, need to change. Now the times are changing and I don't feel the same. The light has left my eyes from once it came. And though I played you this song about a man you used to know, that man from Mexico. the crowd call you to the stage. Looking back at the woman you once knew, the woman who stole from you the light and the light from you. Now the times are changing and I don't feel the same. The light has left my eyes once again. I know I played you this song about a man you used to know, that man from Mexico. 'Cause I took you back to the place that we've all been, and I showed you things that you never ever thought you would see. Yeah, the man from Mexico.
Yes, welcome back to City Buzz on Peterborough FM1 station, many communities. I've just got to quickly mention before we finish our chat with David Pleasant, who's in the studio. I'll tell you more about that in a second. You're invited to attend an Extended Hands AGM. Extended Hands are a charity that empower women. Okay, it's on Thursday, September 24th, from 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Beehive Community Centre. Now for the drivers, that's St Martin Street, Peterborough, PE1 3BB. There is as agenda, as management, secretary of financial reports. The speaker is Leona McCarthy, chief executive of the People Council for Volunteer Services. And if you can please reply by the 21st of 9th, to info@myeh.org, and that should give you, that's their email. Okay, brilliant stuff I've got to tell you. We're going to be talking to Thomas and Living very, very soon. We've got David John Pleasant in the studio. He's been talking about the singer-songwriter showcase on the 17th of October. Now he's a flamenco guitarist, singer-songwriter, and he's a musos for you. And of course, he's very technically minded as he launched the Commodore 64. David, welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, before we finish, Thomas Dunleavy.
Yep. Well, actually, his parents contacted me and asked if he could perform at the Glass House. And the first thing I said was, well, you know, how long does he want to play? Because he was 9 years of age, and you know, usually the Glass House I put 4 acts on and they do 40 minutes each, and they said he was comfortable to do 3 songs. That's what he wanted to do.
Okay.
He wanted to do 2 original songs and 1 cover. Now I hadn't met Thomas until the day, that Sunday, and when he walked in I went up and said, "Hi, how are you?" "Fine." And I said, "Hi Thomas, what are your musical influences?" Thinking he was going to say, you know, Ed Sheeran and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he said, Foo Fighters, AC/DC, Green Day, and that absolutely blew me away, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, anyway, he goes up to perform his 3 songs. And I can tell you that within about 15 seconds, he had the audience screaming. He just got them. And they got him absolutely straight away. It was enthralling to watch. And anyway, finished his 3 songs, and he said, "Can I do another one?" And I said, "What do you think, audience?" And he said, "Yeah, absolutely." So he ended up doing a 4th song. And you know, as soon as I heard him perform, watched him perform, you know, he's got a long future ahead of him, as long as he keeps his feet on the ground and he listens to his mum and dad, who are very, very, you know, they know exactly what needs to be done, and they are looking after his career.
There has been a lot of examples of young teenage proteges and stars from a very young age actually doing self-destruct at around about 15, 16.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
and
indeed.
of course it's very important
Yeah.
to look after that side of things.
Yeah, indeed. And for me, I mean, this is the epitome of what I'm trying to do, encouraging, you know, I say young, but it doesn't have to be young. On the day that Thomas performed, he was 9. I had a 69-year-old guy performing his original material for the first time. So, but the whole ethos of what I'm trying to do is to give people the opportunity to be heard in any situation, no matter where it is. And that's why you know, he's performing at he actually did the Kingscliff Helper Heroes show for me, which again was sensational. Went down a storm, and that's the reason why I'm putting him on at the singer-songwriter showcase, because he deserves to be there.
Absolutely, because I've seen the video from the beer festival, and Thomas is smiling. He's actually in the studio listening to this, and I've got to tell you, when I first saw the video, I went, "Wow! How can you not like this man?" This is Thomas and Levy, Broken Hearts, live from the Peterborough Beer Festival. Keep it here, Peterborough FM.
Hello, Beer Festival! Are you ready? I said, are you ready? Then let's go! I'm gonna sing a moving and grooving. This one about is called Broken Hearts. I'm going to the places I've been dreaming of, but never been before. I'm playing to the faces of a boring crowd, just me and my guitar. Please don't say it, I'm the one that broke your heart. I know it's break your heart. Sitting in my hotel, looking at pictures of me and you, reading all those sets. It's going through my head. Been down the road 6 weeks straight. So it's good, but the loneliness hard to take.